Hi, we're here today with another Above the Bar interview. We are here with Alvaro Campos, a 2012 Rio Rico High School graduate who is now a second lieutenant
Yes, sir. That's
uh,
second lieutenant in the Arizona Guard.
in the Arizona National Guard. So we are, again, our Above the Bar is we're looking at graduates, current teachers, staff, former teachers that are all doing great things. And you are recommended to us to interview because of the things that you're doing and your story. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, obviously, my name is Alvaro Campos. I graduated Rio Rico High School in 2012. I was very active during my time in Rio Rico High School. I was a member of Army Junior ROTC. I was also an FFA. I did the Border Patrol Explorer program down in Nogales for the 4 years that I was there. I went on and after graduation, I went on and joined enlisted in the Arizona Guard. I was a private first class. I was an 88 Mike. I was a truck driver I am a truck driver for the Arizona Guard. And then I came back from basic training and immediately started school. And then I graduated University of Arizona in 2018. Yeah, I made 2018. And at the same time, I got my commission. So I followed through and did ROTC in school. And then I did some internships here and there. And I ended up picking up a job here in Tucson.
That's great. So you graduated from the U of A in 2018. So what did you graduate? What was your degree at the U of A?
My degree was in environmental studies. Yeah.
So take us back to your time at Rio Rico High School. So you were in ROTC and FFA and all. So what was one of the things that helped you be successful when you were in high school?
I think good mentorship. I had really good teachers, really good professors, and they always believed in me. They really always believed in me, and they always wanted me to strive to do something bigger. I went ahead, I listened to them, and then I started school. I was one of those that I didn't know. I was kind of unsure. We were talking about Shiner. I was unsure if I wanted to go to school or not. And at almost like towards the last month of my senior year, I went ahead and applied at U of A, and I ended up getting accepted. So I got accepted, and I think that sparked something in my head. And I said, hey, you know what? I got to go to school and follow through. And then I kind of found myself in a little bit of struggle trying to pay for school. So I enlisted. That was one of the reasons why I enlisted. I said, okay, the Army helps you pay, and it's good experience, got some discipline, and start building up my resume. So then, but mostly it was just good mentorship and listening to the professors at Rio Rico High School, and also some of the agents in charge we had down at the Border Patrol Explorer program. I think that was really the motivation. And my family, my sisters, my mother and my dad, obviously it was always, oh, you have to go to school, and going through school, I didn't like it as much. And then not now that I graduated, I'm like, oh, I see some of the people graduating, or some of the people that kind of graduated with me. I'm like, I'm glad I went to school. It definitely paid off. It just opens a lot of doors.
Yeah. And so when we talk to a lot of our graduates, and one of the things that we always talk about is the fear of leaving Rio Rico, because just as you mentioned, everybody is so close to their family and that support system. How difficult was it for you to move? Even though you're close by, you still had to leave. So how difficult was it for you to move on from Rio Rico?
It's hard. I didn't appreciate Rio Rico as much when I was there. And once I left, I realized how nice Rio Rico was, and how strong the community is, and just the weather is amazing. And the people are just nice. And I think it makes it tough for a lot of people, because we're kind of stuck in that in between ground of, like, you have Nogales, Sonora so close, and then you have Rio Rico, and it's like you have like two benefits, right? You have the benefits of just crossing over the border and going and enjoying good food and enjoying a different culture, and then coming back to Rio Rico and being in the United States. And it's hard, but it's worth it for me. I left so many times, but I always ended up coming back, and I always look forward to going back to Rio Rico. It's just a nice place to be.
Yeah. So your family still here? You have a lot of family still here in the area?
Yeah, my mom and my dad live there. My sisters, my sisters also live there, and they're with this whole COVID stuff. They're working from home and going to school, and then they ended up moving back. But they're there. They're there living at my parents' house, and they're good. Everybody's there, so I still have a lot of strong ties to the town.
Yeah, and that's again, one of the things that we try to encourage people is to go and take that opportunity to go out and explore and know that your family's going to be here to support you, and the school is still going to be here to support you. So do you keep in contact with any of the teachers from when you were here as a student?
I've talked to Mr. Brown, First Sergeant Brown, Ms. Verser here and there. So that was my FFA advisor.
Mm-hmm.
I have the opportunity to work a lot with Mr. McPherson from the agricultural program.
Yeah.
And then it's weird because I have to go back to Rio Rico, and I've been to Rio Rico High School a couple of times doing like the FFA competition, because I work for a federal agency here in Tucson, so they request our help doing soil testing or soil sampling and doing that sort of stuff. So it's always nice to go back and work at Rio Rico High School.
Yeah. So we are growing. That's one of the positive things about our district. We just passed a $22 million bond, and the Rio Rico High School is going to be changing quite a bit. So there's still a lot of history. Is there one memory that you have from Rio Rico High School or going to school in our district that stands out with you?
Yeah, I have many actually. I think we were just talking about this at work too. The zigzags, coming down the zigzags into the football field, those are memorable. I was talking to a kid that went to school here in Tucson, and I told him I graduated from Rio Rico, and that's the first thing he brought up. The zigzags and all my FFA trips with Ms. McLaughlin when she was there the first 2 years that I was in school. Those were really nice, really opened my eyes. And obviously ROTC did too. Some of the competitions with ROTC and just doing PT with ROTC. And I was also kind of lucky that my middle sister, we overlapped for 2 years. Yeah. So she was there, and we got to do ROTC together, and that was pretty fun too.
Yeah, well, those sound like a really good memory. So did you go to all of the schools in our district, elementary, middle, and high school?
I went to elementary for 1 semester. I started in San Cayetano.
Okay.
I went to San Cayetano, then did Calabasas, and then I finished up Rio Rico High School.
Okay. So you've been through all of the schools pretty much. So so when you think about the students and obviously your sisters and family members, what advice would you give for them to be successful in school, in high school, really? I mean, what would you, so that they can go on and be successful after high school like you've been, what would you recommend to them to be successful in high school?
All right. I think staying busy and volunteering, staying busy, having the drive and staying motivated, having some drive and taking initiative to accomplish the tasks you want to do, setting yourself goals, 5-10-year goals, and don't stop driving until you reach those goals. Once you reach your 5-year goals, immediately start setting another 5-year goal. Mostly staying busy. I know in Rio Rico, like, again, we're stuck in that border town. It can be kind of hard sometimes, like, to stay busy. You need to know somebody to do something, and you need to know somebody to work somewhere. And it can be hard, but it can be done. You can go. There's always Tubax right there. Patagonia is growing, is right there too. Sonoida, doing volunteer programs like Border Patrol Explorers, ROTC, FFA, Great Options, FBLA, running, taking advantage of the cross country program that they have in Rio Rico. I always look back and regret not joining cross country, looking at all of these runners graduating and doing great things. Like, man, you know what? Maybe I should have ran. But just staying busy, doing sports, lifting weights, whatever keeps them distracted from any negativity or anybody bringing them down. That's what I recommend. Like taking advantage of the opportunities that you're in Rio Rico. The lakes are so close. Outdoors is so easy to just go out for a hike and taking advantage of that.
Yeah. So back now, kind of to you. So what your 5-year, 10-year plan? So you're up for first lieutenant, hopefully soon, and then what's the plan after that?
That's a good question. I reached my 5-year goals, and now I'm in the process of setting my next 5-year goal. My next 5-year goals. My 10-year goals are hopefully staying and ranking up in the National Guard, and at the same time staying in my job and going as high as I can in the federal government too with them. Team lead, whatever that means, taking company command, becoming a captain. Those are my current goals right now.
Yeah. So most all of our students from here are bilingual, and I know you're bilingual. So does that help you in your job and helping you move forward? Because I always tell people that it's a strength. That I think that one of the strengths of our students is that pretty much everybody is bilingual, and but they just need to learn how to read and write. I mean, most of them can speak it. It's just learning that other side of it. Has that been able to help you in your jobs and getting promotions?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Anywhere you go, there's going to be Spanish speakers. Anywhere you go, there's always a person that speaks Spanish, and especially if you're staying like in the agriculture field, like I did. I work for the Department of Agriculture. I'm constantly working with agricultural producers. So a lot of the producers, they're irrigation technicians or they're planners, whoever their employees are usually Hispanic. So I feel like I'm an asset to the company just because I grew up speaking Spanish, and it's not even a skill that I learned. I kind of inherited that skill, and I thank my parents for it. And I just made it better by living in Rio Rico because everybody spoke Spanish in Rio Rico. Yeah. But I feel like there's also an importance to being able to be very proficient in English, because once I got to U of A, there was a change there. When I got to U of A and I enlisted, I went to basic training. There was a change. English was a big deal. I couldn't get away with not knowing how to say an English word. Yeah. When before I would just switch back to Spanish, and everybody understood, even the teachers. That sometimes but now I can't. I had to learn the English. I had to read a lot more and just be out of that comfort zone, and then do and kind of better my English as well.
Great. And I think that's definitely an important piece of what we do, of making sure that our students are prepared, both with English and, like I said, I think that Spanish can definitely be an advantage for them if they use it in the right way. So I think that's great. Well, thank you for taking the time today to share, your story and what you're doing. And we wish you luck on that next ranking and moving forward and figuring out the new 5-year plan as you progress. But we appreciate you, and we always tell our graduates that we're proud of them and glad that you're able to come back and give back, because that's an important thing for us, and stay connected with us. But we appreciate your time, and again, wish you luck.
I appreciate the opportunity of you guys having me here. I hope there's more students on this video series.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.